the 120% rule and how it applies to solar back-fed breakers. A bus that's rated at 200 amps, the code says that you can supply it with up to 120%. So if it has a main breaker of 200 amps, the most you can supply as solar is 40 amps. We get around this for higher amperage by derating, but the most you can put on 200 amp bus with a 200 amp main breaker is 40 amps. Why do we have to do it on the opposite end? It is simply to control heat and fire. If you do it on the opposite end and the bus starts pulling the loads, the breakers that are in between your solar breaker and the main breaker, start pulling excessive amperage, more than 240, or let's say exactly 240, then the 200 that comes through the main breaker goes down the bus, the metal part of the bus, and 40 comes in from the solar at the bottom end of the bus, and the electrons really don't cross. So therefore it creates no pattern in which there's more than 200 amps being pulled on that bus. Now let's take the opposite scenario where we don't install it correctly, and then we install that breaker right up next to the 200 amp breaker. Now your loads are further away, and when they start pulling, all of the pull has to come through, and 200 amps and 40 amps come through our solar breaker and the main breaker, and they're traveling down the bus of the metal that's rated only for 200 amps. And now it creates an issue to where you can actually have a point on that bus bar that's pulling 240 amps through there. And since it's only rated 200 amps, it could be overheat, could cause a fire, could just make your breakers go bad, could do a whole bunch of things. But this is what it is. You don't want the electrons all flowing the same way. You want them coming in on the opposite ends of the bus just to make sure that they go out the most efficient way possible, and they don't cross. Crossing the streams would be bad, as the Ghostbusters used to say. Hope this makes some sense. Have a great day.